Hello everybody, my name is Daniel Richardson, and I'm the WCPW review guy. And while I got you guys here, this could be the last review of the year. And so I'll let you guys know that the last week of the year, I'll be doing a WCPW end of the year spectacular, where the entire week will be multiple top 10s and just, it's a big end of the year, well, spectacular. So guys, be sure to tune in for that. December 26th until, what the fuck is that, 30th? So, there we go, Monday through Friday, last week. And yeah, so let's get into it. This is the WCPW Loaded episode, what episode is it? 18th? That is fucking ridiculous. Episode 18 review. And yeah, before we get to the Loaded review, actually, let's get to the Reloaded review. Reloaded episode 4. Which I'm quickly becoming a fan of, and it's great because I mean that's how big WCPW is getting, is they can't just fit all their programming into one show now. Like now they're having to like have spillover matches, which is I'm fine with. The first match that was an exclusive match on Reloaded was it was El Ligero versus Drake, and of course James R. Kennedy's once again absence in his he's got primate stuff to worry about, I guess. I don't know, Kennedy. I think get your priorities straight, buddy. Prospect, it's where it's at. Anyway, so El Ligero versus Drake, decent match. The one thing that kind of, and this is such a ridiculous nitpick I'm going to throw out there, but I'm sorry, I'm going to throw it out there. One of my favorite moments, and it was a funny moment in the match, but you know they both go out of the ring, and they both go underneath the ring. We're assuming they're fighting underneath the ring. And then when they come back out, Drake is wearing El Ligero's mask, but El Ligero is wearing the El Draco mask. Now, we all know that Drake and El Draco are the same person. But where did the mask even come from if it was just Drake? Like, did they leave the mask underneath there? Does Drake carry it with him wherever he goes, just in case? Is he like Superman, where if shit goes down, he's like, oh shit, this ain't a job for Drake, but this is a job for El Draco. And it made it, so when they both come out, they're both wearing the opposite mask. They get back in the ring and they just kind of stare at each other and like, let's redo this. And they go back out, and they come back out with the mask. But now it's El Ligero and El Draco. And there now, Alex Shane was great during the commentary. He's like, oh my god, where'd Drake go? It was funny. But I was like, alright, so they start wrestling, and sure enough, Ligero gets the upper hand, and then he rips the mask off of El Draco, revealing that it's Drake. And then, of course, you know, he going to win the match. And I was like, why didn't we just have El Ligero versus El Draco to begin with? And then, of course, the reveal will be even funnier. But anyways, it was that. So that's that right there. And then the main event was actually filmed at a, if I'm remembering correctly, BCW event. And it was a WCPW title match. A WCPW title match at that, on Reloaded. Insane. But it was a WCPW title match. It was Drew Galloway versus Broken Matt Hardy. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the crowd there, not like a WCPW crowd. Not gonna lie. That was the one thing. That was my distract. That we didn't have no commentary, which I was okay about the commentary. But Shane and, you know, Bradshaw would have definitely helped it. But the match itself was really good. In fact, out of the two matches on Reloaded, that's probably my favorite one. Kind of a slow start, but once it got going, it really took off. And then, of course, it was all over the arena. They just bowed everywhere. The big shock of the match was freaking Drew Galloway hits the Future Shock DDT on Broken Matt Hardy, and he just kicks out. And I was like, holy shit. I was shocked at that. But then, of course, Future Shock, get it. And then, of course, after that, though, Matt Hardy would hit the Twist of Hate. They're still calling it Twist of Fate over here. I don't know why. But hit the Twist of Hate. And as soon as he did that, I was like, well, he's going to kick out of that. And sure enough, Galloway kicked out. Wrestled for a couple more seconds. And then after a series of roll-ups or whatever, Galloway picks up the win and defeats Broken Matt Hardy, successfully defending the title. Which is something I really do like, because I like the fact that all the WCPW wrestlers and champions actually take their titles with them to other promotions. It just adds more prestige to the titles. I don't know. I like that. I really do. So we got a glimpse into that, so I thought that was really awesome. So, alrighty. So let's get on to Loaded, episode 18. And yeah, we start things off with a match we were supposed to have at the Elite WCPW. It was Johnny Mundo versus Alberto El Patron. And yeah, this match now, I'll tell you right now, all four matches tonight Loved them. Loved all 4 matches. I thought they were all good. Of course, every week I pick out my favorite match and my least favorite match. And I must say, this is my least favorite match. And the only reason is just it took forever to get going. Like, the first, 5 minutes were just, Mundo stalling and then run around the outside and just random, goofing around. And I'm like, let's get some wrestling. Let's get to the rest. So, that's the only thing. Now, once they started fighting, it was great. The match was really good. But, yeah, if I have my least favorite right now, I'm sorry, it's Mundo and Patron. Match, like I said, was really good. Once it got going, it was really good. I keep on calling him Johnny Nitro. Johnny Mundo hits, I forget what, I know he calls it, but that corkscrew moonsault springboard thing he does in the corner. Thought he had Patron out. Patron grabs the rope, gets himself out of that, and then of course he'll eventually hit him with the arm breaker. I don't know what he calls it, but yeah, tap out victory, and Al Patron wins. And of course it was announced last week, I believe. It was True Destiny. It's going to be Alberto El Patron versus Kurt Angle, so definitely building some momentum toward that. So True Destiny. February. Seems like a long way away. It is a long way away, am I right? Alright, so anyways, we get this little segment with Jack the Jobber and Adam Pacitti backstage in Pacitti's office. Pacitti's stressed right now. Because you gotta remember, he initially thought it was going to be 3 against 1, his boys against Kirby. And then Broken Matt Hardy came out, signed his name to the contract, and now he's 2 against 3. Didn't quite even the odds, but it definitely helped out Kirby. So, he's stressed out and everything, and he flips out on Jack the Jobber. And then he calms down. He's like, all right, go tell the guys, follow B. Priestley out there. We need to win this for Pacitti Club. So the next match is a women's title match. You got B. Priestley with the Swords of Essex in her corner going up against Nixon Newell. This match is really good. Like I said, every time these 2 girls get in the ring, it really is, you just get a good match every time. This thing was just a brawl, though. Literally, these girls are just, going at it. One of my favorite parts was Nixon turns around and just dives outside and hits the Swords of Essex. Nixon gets in there. She done winning it. However, right after the match, after Nixon picks up the victory, the Swords of Essex, especially Paul Robinson, comes in and just clocks the shit out of her. And I was like, holy shit! This wasn't just a typical, guy hitting a girl. This was just like a mugging. This was just like a brutal assault. This was a beatdown. And of course, Scotty comes in, does the same thing, decks her right in the face. They beat the shit out of her. And what I thought was amazing, not one WCPW guy in the back came out to help. Is it not fucked up? Think of, even Mustache Mountain. And that would make more sense for them to come out because they had that big match at WCPW, and not even them. Now, the argument could be made, since this is low budget, maybe there isn't monitors backstage. But at one point, the referee even runs back to the back, so you gotta think he even said, hey, Nixon Newell, who's a great women's competitor, just got hit by a couple dudes. They just punched her in the fucking face. And everybody was like, what can we do? I'm kind of tied up right here. So yeah, this is a little shy. I was waiting for somebody to come out to her rescue. No one came out to her rescue. And B. Priestley stole the women's title. So there you go. Then of course we get the Coffees backstage. And what was weird was, prior to all this, business with Joe Coffey on his kind of a bit of a losing streak, and everybody was like, well, he's going to turn heel eventually. Everybody just thought that's what would happen. And of course, he ends up teaming up with his brother Mark, and they end up doing pretty good in the tournament. They get to the finals, but they lose. So now they're kind of in the pouty mode, but Joe Coffey's okay with it. It's Mark Coffey now who's acting like he's got an attitude about it. And I was just like, wow, they kind of flipped it there, but whatever. So they're back there, and then of course here comes Mustache Mountain. I just don't like these guys. I'll just tell you right now, I just don't like them. I don't know what it is. And I don't mean personally. They're great athletes. I respect the hell out of them. I'm talking character-wise. If these guys were if I worked with them, if we were all real people, I would not like these guys. I'd just be like, fuck off. I don't like the whole, let's just walk over there. They go over to people when they're at their worst. And try to be like, well, let me add some words of, what. It's like, dude, this is why you get your hand bitten right there. That's why you get your hand bitten. I was just hoping the Coffees beat the shit out of them, but they didn't. However, Mark Coffey does just walk away. He's just like, dude, fuck this. He was like me. I would just be like, dude, we just lost. We're on a lose streak right now. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk. And I'd walk away. I don't know. But anyway, this is setting up the 3-way elimination tag match. We got Prospect against Mustache Mountain against the Coffees. So all 3 of them in there. This match was just great. I love Prospect anyway. So and dude, I'm digging this whole Alex Gracie underwear. It's brilliant. My favorite parts was they, I think it was, they were all on the outside, and I think it was Tyler Bate in the ring, and he's like, I'm going to jump over. And he's getting ready to. And every time he would go for it, someone would interfere. It was usually the prospect interfere. Anyways, he couldn't quite make it out there. At one point, Archer even interferes. And he goes to run and hit the plancha. And, of course, everybody moves but Alex Gracie. Of course, prospect collide right out there. But then when everybody gets back over there, Bate finally does make a run, do a spectacular dive over the top rope onto everybody on the floor. Just awesome. Prospect's the first one out. Now, wasn't there supposed to be tags and shit? The Coffees were not tagged, and they weren't the legal men in there. Like, literally, it was Mustache Mountain Prospect. They had one guy from Mustache Mountain beat, and then, like, Mark and Joe just come in there and like, we don't want the tag. There's no officiating anymore. What the fuck? Which that kind of, actually, I forgot to bring that up earlier on the Mundo Al Patron match. Like, Johnny Mundo puts, like, Patron's neck in the chair and, like, slams into the post. I'm like, DQ? Oh, we're not doing that anymore? Okay, just making sure. So anyways, Prospect get beaten early. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm biased. I love Prospect, but still, yeah, I was like, come on. I didn't see a tag. I didn't see a freaking tag. Prospect needs to get the revenge. And where the hell is Kennedy at? That's ridiculous. Kennedy, not out there at all. I was like, come on. Which I knew he wouldn't be. WCPW, when they shoot out a sequence and they film it or whatever, they're really bad about giving away certain things, because last week when Prospect went out to talk to Kennedy, they just like, we just lost a match. I'm like, no, you lost a match last week at Delete WCPW's pre-show. You didn't just lose a match at all. They were talking about this match right here. And then on Reloaded, during the Drake El Ligero match, they're like, well, Prospect just lost that triple threat or three-way match. And I was like, yeah, that ain't even air yet, so way to go. Anyway, so I mean, I knew going into this match Prospect wasn't going to win, but I was like, come on. Beat these guys clean. Don't just do this weird, like, oh, I'm not the legal man. So anyways, we're down to the Coffees and Mustache Mountain, and they're going to do this tag team black hole thing that they normally do, where Mark would hit someone from behind, then of course Joe Coffey comes around and hits a black coffee. And what happened was just some miscommunication, and Joe ended up striking Mark. Bam, took him down. They threw Joe out of the ring, and Mustache Mountain picks up their very first win right here in WCPW. I don't care. Sorry, I just don't. Yeah, sorry. Just not a fan. Just not a fan of the walking out and shaking everybody's hand. And they were bugging Pete Dunne a few weeks ago. Pete Dunne bit the shit out, and they deserved it, and I was happy. Anyway, I was going to throw this out at the beginning of the show, and I totally forgot. But a big shout out and congratulations to Mustache Mountain, Pete Dunne, and Joseph Connors. They were recently just signed to WWE's big UK title tournament. Big event they're having next month, I think. I can't remember. But yeah, that's amazing. Like I said, you know, I'm not big on mainstream wrestling. I think it's just boring. And I'm not gonna lie, I think anybody goes there, they're not gonna be used to their full potential. Hey, ask Noah Dar, how's he doing over on Raw right now? Well, jobbing out and then not wrestling at all? Yeah, seems about right. But regardless, they're making a ton of money, and I'm happy for every one of them. So, and that's awesome. And it proves to show that WCPW is just the home of wrestling. Like, this is it. Like, that's 6 guys so far that's been used for the major promotion. But used for WWE, fuck major promotion. Just WWE, the top dog in pro wrestling right now. And that's 6 different guys who've now, you know, hooked up with them. So, of course, I don't think this is a permanent thing. Or, you know, it may lead to some permanent employment. But right now, this is just a regular tournament just to showcase some of UK's, you know, best talent. So, but anyways, Mustache Mountain pick up their win. And, of course, the Coffee's getting a big argument outside. So, and I was really shocked. I was a little shocked that they were pulling the trigger on this too soon. Because the WCW is great about, you know, stretching things out, and I figured, you know, we'd get a few more, at least a few more weeks of Coffees as tag team before they start, you know. But as someone pointed out to me on the comment section of that video, they were like, well, they're just planting seeds. They don't end up breaking up anytime soon. It can just be later down the road. So I have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. We get Broken Matt Hardy outside, just gaining the energy from the wall, and Mark Kirby's like, what the hell are you doing out here? And then we get an awesome just Broken Matt Hardy promo. It's just great. I love it. Ends up making sure Kirby has the power and energy. It's like, I don't know. It was good stuff. That leads to the main event. Now remember the stipulations. If Hardy and Kirby can win, Kirby becomes the new general manager. But if Kirby and Hardy lose, Kirby's fired. Handicap match It's Swords of Essex, Bully Ray, and of course they are accompanied to the ring by Adam Pacitti and B. Priestley, going up against Martin Kirby and Broken Matt Hardy. My match of the night, seriously, I mean, there's just so much emotion going in this match, and there's so much hype and expectation. This is the match I was excited for, like all week long. I just kept thinking like, oh, stayed away from social media as much as I could. Did not want anything ruined for me. Couldn't wait. Get in there. Boom. Match happens. I didn't realize how big Bully Ray was until he was in there with not just his partners, but with Martin Kirby. I was like, fuck, he is like a monster of a man. Sorry. Cough. Anyway, so, for early on, Kirby holds his own and pretty much takes on all of them by himself until he gets in there with Bully Ray. He tags out to Broken Matt Hardy, and even Hardy holds his own against Bully Ray. But it wasn't until that mid-match switch where Kirby loses control and the Swords of Essex and Bully Ray take over, and they just dominate the shit out of him. Now, my favorite moment was Kirby's in the corner and he's getting chopped by Bully Ray, and he's doing some thunderous chops. And dude, like Kirby goes down every time, but every time he goes down, dude, he picks himself back up, showing that awesome fighting spirit. Gets back into the face of Bully Ray. Match, breaks down, some pandemonium. Broken Man, there's a chair involved at one point. Broken Man Hardy, Bully Ray fighting to the back, and of course Kirby does an old Eddie Guerrero. He hits the chair on the ground, throws it to the other guy, and acts like he's laid out. And of course, the referee's like, oh, that's it, we're going to disqualify. But Parmesan's like, no, we're not losing this match. Now the match is a no DQ match, which, of course, the guy goes to, I think it was Scotty. Scotty goes to hit Martin Kirby with the chair. Of course, Kirby used the chair against him. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, it was Paul, it's Paul Robinson, because he hits the Sable Bomb on Paul Robinson. 1, 2, 3. Martin Kirby wins. Martin Kirby, new general manager of What Culture Pro Wrestling. Awesome moment. I love it. So, of course, Parmesan just looks like his world just collapsed around him, which is great. So, Kirby picks up the microphone. Because everybody at this point is like, they're doing the na-na-na-nas and fire him and all stuff. And I was like, no, you can't just fire him. And I was glad he didn't, because literally we know what's in store for Parmesan from here on out. Kirby's going to make his life a living hell, just like, Pachi has done for him. He pulls out this pink chair, sits in the ring, has him on there, and then of course he ends up, he's like, for my first act of business is I'm going to give everybody Christmas off. Which will explain why it's the season finale, and I'm presuming for the rest of the year, no more WCPW. So anyways, yeah, Christmas off for everybody. Enjoy your vacation. And then, of course, he ends up kicking Chidi right in the fucking face, which is great. And I love how Hardy comes back out. He's like, what a lovely pink chair. And he just stands on it. Just great. But yeah, Hardy came in, did exactly what he said he was going to do. He took out the evil, took out the cancer of WCPW. He deleted it. So, yes, happy for that. And then that was the end. We ended it. And then there was a little bitty clip at the end. At the end, we see, people are cleaning up the O2 Arena, getting all the chairs picked up, and there's Pacitti sweeping up. Jobber's like, hey, you need to get the bar. He told me to go tell you to get the bar. We gotta clean that up after this. Great. Fucking great. Loved it. So yes, this is the perfect way to end the year out. Like I said, excellent show. I feel like this show's a little shorter this week for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't know. It just felt like, or matches. I mean, I guess it wasn't too short, but it just felt, I guess it went by quick. Time flies when you're having fun. But yes, Kirby's in charge. I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm glad he didn't just, like I said, I'm glad he didn't just fire Pacitti. I want to see this play out. I want what I always wanted. Way back, before this even became a war, like before this became ugly and everything else, like I always said I wanted to have like a weekly segment, or even just a random show that has nothing to do with, but just like, it's the Kirby and Pacitti hour, or just them hanging out backstage, and we just see Kirby messing with him, and it'd be like a bad sitcom kind of thing. And I'm like, now we can have that now. Now we can have that, but now it's just Kirby fucking with Pacitti, and that's even better. So there you go. So yeah, overall, great event. It's been an awesome year. It has truly been an awesome year for WCPW. I mean, what else can you say? I got nothing else to say, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up right now. So guys, share and subscribe if you haven't already. Show this video that thumb and love. And of course, follow me over on Facebook and Twitter. I'm leaving the links down below in the description box. And yeah, that's all I got. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, watching. Appreciate it. That's all I got. Till next time.